Yeah, there's plenty of work that I don't necessarily enjoy in the moment, but I'm glad that I did it when it's done. It's like exercise. And so I guess if that work lives in the 50% that you don't enjoy, I'm okay with it. Because there is definitely still some work. To me, the difference, it really is on a spectrum between, do I enjoy it and is it like good for the company? And there are certain things that I will do that I don't necessarily enjoy in the moment, but it's good for the company. I'm proud of it when it's finished. Now, those things are not things that I seek to keep around forever. Those are things that I would like to hire out and have some other people do at some point. A good example of that for me is recording videos, like video content and that kind of stuff. I really don't enjoy it that much in the moment.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Business Lunch Podcast. I am your host, Roland Frazier, and my business partner and co-host, Ryan Deiss, is here with us as well. Ryan, how are you doing on this beautiful day?
I'm doing very well, and I'll tell you why I'm doing well. It's because I really have mastered work-life balance.
Really?
And
You have mastered that?
It's figured out. Yeah, it's totally figured out.
Did you know, you say as we record this on a holiday, I like that.
I know, right?
Did you know that Jeff Bezos, this is what was the catalyst to having this conversation we're having today, that Jeff Bezos says that work-life balance is a debilitating phrase, quote unquote, and that work and life are actually a circle. What do you think about that?
I mean, what he's essentially saying is that there's like the better your work life is, then the better your home life is going to be. And, on and on and on. And that one impacts the other. And then it's not this kind of like, perfect balancing act. It's that one is going to influence the other, which, I think is logical when you think about it. It's sort of like, we don't describe it as like a sleep wake balance. I mean, there's times when you sleep and there's times when you're awake. And if you're doing too much of one and not enough of the other, then yeah, that's, that's not good. So I don't know. I mean, I think some of this is a little bit playing with words, but I do agree with what he said, that this concept of having a perfect balance is a bad metaphor. It's a bad visual. It's unhelpful. I think it causes you to feel guilty when not. And I think at the end of the day, as entrepreneurs, business owners, any high performance individual, we're always living, I think, in extremes. And I know for me, I'm at my best when I'm working really, really, really hard and I'm like in extreme work mode. And then I'm going to be in extreme rest and play mode. And as long as all of those things are happening, then it works for me. In terms of balance, though, like it needs to be some kind of 50-50 type deal. I don't know. I've never really bothered to count.
I like it. I agree with you. I tend to be like, if I can get completely immersed in a project, I'm very excited about it and very happy while I'm in that ravenously devouring every bit of information I can about it, focused on it, trying to solve a problem, whatever. And if I can check out, like, and like, as you know, we did recently in Norway, I was pretty happy the whole time, didn't really give work a thought, and just absolutely enjoyed the vacation. A couple things that I think are interesting that he said. He said that it is a circle more than anything else. He said it should be that work and life are a circle. He said that if he's happy at work, he's energized at home, and vice versa. And
did you see it also had a little snippy? This is Business Insider, which there's some of the snippiest little twerps I've ever seen. And I say that in a Disney loving kind of way. But just like journalists are all like, I don't know, none of them are entrepreneurs. They're like, of course he says this. When he said this, he was still married to his first wife, and then they got a divorce.
I saw that as
shut
really
up,
that probably didn't have anything to do with work-life balance.
My God.
Yeah, it's funny because he kind of euphemized it out in Amazon as work-life harmony, which is not terrible. But what I thought was really interesting, I haven't heard anybody say this before. And let's see, they said in he says he's more energized, better husband, better dad when he's happy at home, a better boss, a better colleague. And then, of course, right after that, they put the little snipe. Bezos was married to Mackenzie Scott at the time, But he said, here it is. He said, if you can get your work life to where you enjoy half of it, that's amazing. Very few people ever achieve that. I thought that was really interesting because, he said everything comes with pieces that you like and that you don't like. Um, Man, that if I was unhappy at work half the time, I don't know that I would stay. What do you think about that?
It felt about right to me.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it felt
basically,
about right to me.
assuming that, would you feel that way if you were half happy at home and half completely not happy?
I think it's tough because like how one defines happiness is a big part of it because there's definitely times when I am not happy when one of my children comes to me on a
Enjoy.
Tuesday
So
night
he's defining it as enjoy.
as enjoy. Yeah, but even that I think so. Let me give you this example because I believe that this is a personal analogy that there's a lot of work related things. So my kid comes to me. It's 9 o'clock at night. I'm kind of ready to go to bed, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I just forgot I've got this project due tomorrow." And it's like, "Oh, yeah, and I need a poster board for it. It's like, how late is Office Depot open? Can I even get a poster board at this hour?" And you have to spring into action and deal with this like thing. And in that moment, all I want to do is strangle my child. And I think any, parent out there knows exactly what I mean.
I
But
think it's
those
okay
are
if you have
also
more than one left.
it's why you have multiple ones though.
Right.
In case
Right.
yeah, no. Bad joke. Anyway, the I do think that is one of those times when in the moment I don't enjoy it, but afterwards it created a memory, it created a moment that we might still talk about, today. So I do believe that a lot of work is that. And there's the am I enjoying it in the moment versus was this good, solid, focused activities? And so for me, there's some work that I
That
do
sounds
that I
like
don't necessarily.
productivity over enjoyment, though.
Yeah, there's plenty of work that I don't necessarily enjoy in the moment, but I'm glad that I did it when it's done. It's like exercise. And so I guess if that work lives in the 50% that you don't enjoy, I'm okay with it. Because there is definitely still some work. To me, the difference, it really is on a spectrum between, do I enjoy it and is it like good for the company? And there are certain things that I will do that I don't necessarily enjoy in the moment, but it's good for the company. I'm proud of it when it's finished. Now, those things are not things that I seek to keep around forever. Those are things that I would like to hire out and have some other people do at some point. A good example of that for me is recording videos, like video content and that kind of stuff. I really don't enjoy it that much
Yeah,
in the
same here.
moment. But it's good work that I'm proud of it when it's done. But if there's things that I can do to not do it, like I'm okay with it. So I would put some of that in the 50%. I'm really looking for me, 2 hours a day of focus work that I can really sort of sink, my teeth into. And if I can get 2 hours of some kind of growth and learning where I'm actively like learning something or researching, doing R&D for the next thing, if I get that in, then I feel like really, really, really great. And so that's 4 hours a day, call it 20 hours a week. If I've got that in, the other, 20 to depending on the week, 60 hours, you know, might be some drudgery. It might be some other things, but if I feel like I got 20 hours of solid work divided pretty evenly between, you know, focus work, creating assets that are meaningful that I'm proud of, and and 10 hours, sorry, 10 hours of that, and then 10 hours of like learning, growing, improving on something, planning for the next piece. That to me feels like a good week.
Hmm. Yeah, it was really funny because when I mentioned to my wife, I showed her that and said, "This is what we're going to talk about today." And she said, "Oh, is it a comedy segment? You guys are doing a bit work-life balance?" And I like, it's funny, but also, I know I think she thinks um, that I work too much, or maybe that there's not enough of that balance. But the truth is that the time that she spends doing things that she enjoys, like playing chess or word games or gardening or designing and things like that, you could call that work if that's what she did for a living. To me, you're blessed if that's what you do for a living because you are doing something you enjoy all the time. And so for me, I I find that most of what I do for work I enjoy. I mean, it might be 10%. I mean, obviously there are times when you have to do things you don't want to do, but if I'm looking across a year, I'm generally pretty happy with the things that I'm doing. And across a year, I'd say if most people work 2,000 to 2,100 hours a year, if they work 40 hours a week, then you would be at 10% saying that 200 hours out of the year, I was doing something that I didn't particularly enjoy, but I felt that it was necessary or helpful to the business. I'd be okay with that. If it was 1,000 hours, I don't. I mean, I don't think I'd keep doing it, which is interesting. Even if
I
it was
think you and
helpful
I
to the
have
business.
different pain tolerances. Maybe I see like golf. Like in golf, I could go out there and have a crappy round, but if I have a couple of shots that were good, then I'm like, yeah, that was a good round. Now,
Mm.
again, I'm always looking at for those things that fall in that category. How do I get somebody else to do it? But I don't so much like what I have no patience or tolerance for is just the pure drudgery. So stuff that
Yeah.
I don't enjoy and stuff that I don't see having a very clear outcome. And so there's a lot of things where I felt like at one point public speaking became that, where I was
Mm.
traveling a lot. I was on speaking on different stages. There was no benefit to myself or the company for it, and I was like, this just has to end.
Me
Like this
too.
absolutely has to end right now.